So, nucleus drop is definitely a nightmare for the anterior segment surgeons, especially novice surgeons. But it can be easily managed. So, no worries. So, what are the causes and risk factors? So, some intraop complications like PCR, zonular weakness, novice surgeon, high myopia, pseudoexfoliation syndrome, PPC, advanced cataracts, and poor visualization. So, but it's a conquerable nightmare. So, early identification is very important. As we can see, deepening of chamber, pupillary snap sign, in sudden descent of nucleus. So, please stop and take a deep breath. Don't get panic. Just clear the anterior chamber, if possible, of all the vitreous and see your ports are well sealed. Then stop. Don't go overfishing for the nucleus because it's a tendency just to stop it, but it may worsen. So, better to stop. So this is jokes apart. This is just simply to make job easier for a secondary surgeon. If it's a well sealed sutured wound, clear cornea, aphakia, or a stable IOL in sulcus, then it's a good thing done. So, what's an important of the prompt and appropriate management? Because otherwise, it can lead to phacogenic uveitis, secondary glaucoma, cystoid macular edema, retinal detachment, and sometimes the patient presents like endophthalmitis also. So, pre-op assessment, what I like to see is the clarity of the cornea, position of nucleus. I do an indirect examination, if possible, see the periphery to rule out any detachment or tears, choroidal detachment, and B scan if the view is not clear. So, surgical management involves in vitrectomy, phlegmotome in cases of hard nucleus, and PFCL, that is perfluorocarbon fluid, to levitate the nucleus in the Berger space. This is rarely used now, this technique, but usually now PFCL is used to protect the macula while doing the maneuvers in the vitreous cavity. So, the steps are pars plana vitrectomy, nucleus removal, periphery examination at the end of vitrectomy. So, coming to my case one, so this is the patient who presented to me 2 days post op. There was well sealed wound, clear cornea, well controlled IOP. IOL was in place in the sulcus and it appeared stable to me. And then there was a large cortex seen in the retro IOL in the back. So, here we go. So we made three ports, and infusion cannula was fixed in the infratemporal quadrant at 3.5 mm because it's a pseudophakic eye. And I prefer to use 20 gauge vitrectomy. I'll come on later to explain why. The first of all, the aim is to clear the vitreous from the anterior chamber and to aspirate the cortical matter from the AC, and then we go down to do the vitrectomy. The cut rate used here is 4000 cut rate with suction 150, 180 to 200. And the triamcinolone can be used for better assessment of vitreous. And all the nucleus attachments from the vitreous should be freed before we start eating up the nucleus. And in case PVD induction is a surgeon choice, in case you are using phlegmotome and you see that the nucleus is hard, I think PVD should be induced. Now, with the help of active suction, we are lifting up the nucleus into the midvitreous cavity, and then we try to eat it up with the help of light pipe. We crush the nucleus material into the cutter. This was a soft nucleus, that is why I chose to use vitrectomy. And the cut rate here used is 800 to 1000 cut rates. So you can see the light pipe was used to crush the nucleus against the cutter probe. So once you are done with the nucleus removal, rest of the vitrectomy was completed. To see for leftover cortical matter, so we should be very sure that the chunk is not left behind. And after completing the vitrectomy, it is also very important to look for the periphery to see if there is any advertent breaks. Here in this case, we could have used PFCL also because the nucleus is dropping again and again. So it may damage the macula. So we can use PFCL in this case also. So after ending the vitrectomy, examine the periphery for any tears or any break. And then once you are done, I just did a fluid gas exchange and close the ports. So this is the case 2. Here the patient presented to me 1 day after the surgery, but I did it after 2 days. This was an aphakic patient. You can see some amount of cortical matter is lying in the anterior chamber, and the glow is also not red. So we know that material has dropped down also. D scan was done to see the retinal status. So here also I used 20 gauge vitrectomy, but it was an aphakic patient, so made ports at 3 mm. This is the corneal wound of the primary surgeon, which was being sutured. So once clearing the vitreous and aspirating the cortex from the anterior chamber and the back, we went inside and induced PVD, cleared the vitreous, and then we saw that there was a huge chunk of nucleus which was in the bag itself. Now the option was to use a phlegmatome, but since it was in the bag, I chose better to bring it into the anterior chamber. Now doing phaco and it in the anterior chamber will damage the endothelium. So I prefer to enlarge the section the primary surgeon has made, and then using the old method of wire vectis. This is what I did. We used wire vectors to remove the nucleus. But yes, it was again coming in pieces. This was a hard nucleus, so definitely cutter would not have been a choice. And then sheet glide to just rest the nucleus on it and bring it off. So once the whole nucleus was delivered, we did anterior vitrectomy to check for vitreous in the wound and the section. And then finally, after this, I closed the section with 10-0 silk. So once the section was secured, we went again back to complete our vitrectomy. Now here we could have done everything behind first and then come to the front, but then there was a high risk that that nucleus must have dropped down. So we came back again, completed the vitrectomy, removed the residual cortex, and then checking for the periphery, which is very important. Here we decided to skip the IOL in this sitting and planned it at a later stage because there was no support. So what are the factors which influence the outcome? That's the extent of vitreous loss, promptness of intervention, and associated complications. So these are certain key points. Now why I prefer 20 gauge? See, we would have used 23 gauge also, but 20 gauge gives some additional benefits like it facilitates higher flow rates, instruments are more sturdier, and large port size provides better aspiration and removal of larger nuclear fragments, and it's also compatible with phlegmotome, so no additional port has to be made. PVD induction is definitely surgeon's choice, but I prefer to induce PVD, and thorough evaluation of periphery in the end is very important. So conclude, emphasize early recognition and management is a key to proper visual outcome, and patient counseling for realistic expectation has to be done. So this is some prevention strategies which I know anterior segment people know better than me. So thanks a lot.